Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday, January 18th, and I wanted to take this moment to reflect. We had a very big day yesterday. We had a very intense month. As many of you know, Equal Means Equal was out in Washington, D.C., starting in mid-December, and I just got back to Los Angeles. I want to start by acknowledging all the pain and destruction that the victims of the Los Angeles fires have been experiencing. And I hope that the fires end, and I hope that there is some resolution for the people and help for them. So I want to let people know what happened yesterday and what did not happen yesterday. But before that, I want to thank every single person that has been part of this journey with me and Equal Means Equal, originally the ERA Education Project, since Taylor Williams first walked up to me at the Smithsonian dressed as Alice Paul and said, "I'm back to haunt you because you've done nothing to get the federal ERA done. And women in this country are still not equal." And as many of you know, from that moment forward, I was dedicated to making a difference in this long, long fight that has involved millions and millions of women and men and everybody who cares about equality and justice in this country that has taken on the Equal Rights Amendment. So for all of you, whether you've been enmeshed and inundated in this fight as I've been, or you've participated in whatever way, I want to thank you. And I want you to thank yourself right now. Sometimes in the middle of things, it's difficult to take a moment, take a breath, and just acknowledge and appreciate where we've been and what we've done, because there's always more to do. And the outcome is not perfect. But I'll tell you this, if we hadn't been fighting, if we hadn't been pushing and educating and using our talent, our energy to move this ball forward, we would not have had what happened yesterday happen. Which brings me to what did happen yesterday. Well, President Biden made a statement yesterday. And in that statement, he said that he believes the Equal Rights Amendment is the 28th Amendment to the Constitution. Now, that's both a very big deal and not a big deal at all. We all know that since January 27th of 2020, the ERA has been ratified and is the 28th Amendment. But we were fighting a massive misinformation and disinformation campaign across so many sectors, including folks that we thought were allies, that to have the president step out and state this, which, by the way, has caused all kinds of articles and TV news programs, more visibility than we have had on this issue since I became involved. That is a win. That is a big win. And we have to take that in and appreciate it. But there's the other side of that, which is he did not instruct the archivist to publish the Equal Rights Amendment, which would put it in the Federal Register. And that would indicate to the courts that they have to use it to adjudicate cases where sex discrimination is being alleged. So he went halfway there, but he didn't do what we asked him to do. He didn't do what He's required to do. He didn't see that the laws are faithfully executed. And the archivist is refusing to publish. She is inserting herself in the amendatory process, which is not her job, and she has no right to do. So, how is this going to play out? A lot of people are concerned. And I, for one, am not an attorney. And I know that there's a very high level political chess game going on. I know that everything that we're looking at is not quite what it seems. I know that there's a case in front of the Supreme Court that looks at what sex is as a classification. Because one of the great things that the Equal Rights Amendment does, and some would argue that it is the most important thing that the Equal Rights Amendment does, is it provides women as a class with strict scrutiny under the law. We've been in this sort of limbo state of intermediate scrutiny, and it's not very effective. Whereas strict scrutiny compels the judicial branch to look at women as a discriminated class and make every effort to see that that discrimination is not occurring in the matter before them. If the Supreme Court decides that women are no longer a class in the sense that they are somewhere in between, meaning if sex is mutable, if it can change from one day to the next, if you can be a woman and then you can be a man and then you can be something other than either of those two things, some are arguing that that will destroy women's ability to receive strict scrutiny under the ERA. Obviously, we don't want that to happen, and we won't let that happen. Um, we are a very resourceful, intelligent, energized group of people. And as long as we're educated, as long as we know what's going on, there's nothing we cannot accomplish. And that's been proven because President Biden had absolutely no intention of doing anything on the ERA. In fact, we had very, very powerful people behind the scenes that call themselves feminists that were actively lobbying against the ERA. And whether it was for fear of appearing before the Supreme Court or fear of losing a revenue stream, I don't really know. And it's somewhat irrelevant. The point is that we used people power to pressure President Biden to do something he was not going to do. And now, millions of Americans who had no idea that women were not equal in the Constitution are aware of this. And we can take advantage of this and we can push forward. So, the outcome yesterday was not perfect, but it was such a validation of what we've been doing. It was such a indication by the universe that we've done the right thing and that we must continue to push the moral arc of the universe towards justice. It's been a really long, hard fight that we've been in. It's been 15 years for me. It's been 40, 50 years for some of us. It's been months for others. And I'm so grateful that something happened because there was a moment there just 3 days ago after 7 brave people were arrested, after our fight seemed doomed, that I thought, you know what? We're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to have achieved what we needed. We haven't made it. And and then this happened. And it's because of you. It's because of all of us. And we have to take a moment to be grateful, to be thankful, and to just appreciate this moment. We're not going to stop fighting, and it's not perfect. But we did it. We did it. We moved the needle. We got the president to act. And that's a big deal. So thank you. And I love you all. And I'm very grateful for your support and your partnership and your belief in equal means equal in our work.